Season's greetings from Seattle Center. Thank you for joining us virtually as we keep alive the decades-long tradition of Seattle Center Winterfest. This year, Winterfest has partnered with Seattle Center Festál, our year-long series of cultural festivals, to showcase a diverse and delightful array of seasonal and holiday traditions. Each week throughout December, we'll post new Festál content on seattlecenter.com, so be sure to visit us often. We hope these offerings of cooking and craft demonstrations, storytelling, and dance and musical performances will inspire and uplift your winter spirit. In this segment, Seattle Iranian Festival shares a seasonal culinary classic full of taste and tradition, recorded especially for Winterfest. Enjoy this mouth-watering cooking demonstration.
Salam. Hello everyone. My name is Mana and I'm an IACA board member. It's a beautiful day in Seattle, a little chilly, so it's a perfect day for a warm comfort food. And I'm going to make asha anar or pomegranate soup. It's a great recipe for colder months of the year, especially for Shab Yalda. Shab Yalda is the last night of the fall season and the Iranians celebrate this night. In the old days, the Zoroastrian tradition believed that the evil or Ahriman forces were very strong during this night, which is the darkest and the longest night of the year. So people used to get together to spend the night in the safety of groups, and they would stay awake to see the sunrise. And sunrise meant the glow of life. They meant that they were safe and they're able to survive through the cold days of the winter season. Crimson hues of dawn are very meaningful because it meant survival of the night. So fruits that are red like pomegranates and watermelon is served on this night. And it's also used for the decorations. There is a variety of red shades when people decorate for Shab Yalda. I usually make asha anar for Shab Yalda, but this year it's very different and it's very meaningful for me because I'm making it in honor of my 6-month-old baby girl. Her name is Anar Gul, which means pomegranate flower. Let's get started. This is what you need for the broth. 2 or 3 onions. I'm using 2 because my onions are pretty big. About 3 garlic cloves should be enough for the broth, but I'm using more because I want to save some to garnish the soup. I absolutely love fried garlic and onion on top of Persian soups. 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 2 teaspoons of salt, and about 2 teaspoons of freshly ground pepper, but it's really depending on your taste. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1 or 2 tablespoons of golpar or angelica powder. I usually use a little bit less. That's the taste that my family likes. We're going to need half a cup of yellow split peas, a cup of rice, and 1 beet. You can use a raw beet and add it to your soup in the middle, but I really like to cook it first and add it right at the end because it keeps the beautiful and gorgeous color of the beet, and it really preserves it if you just add it at the end. 2/3 of pomegranate molasses diluted in water. We need 2 cups of chopped cilantro, 2 cups of chopped parsley, 1 cup of chopped mint, and also a couple of cups of chopped spring onions. Now look at these beautiful vibrant colors. Can you imagine how flavorful and how beautiful this soup is going to be. I'm going to thinly slice the onions and the garlic and saute them in a little bit of oil until they are golden brown. If you got your split peas from American supermarkets, they usually cook really fast. They need about 30 to 45 minutes. But if it's a type that you get from Persian stores, they take longer to cook. And you can add them to the onions and garlic and saute a little bit, then add the water. Mine cooks pretty fast, so I'll just add it at the end. After you saute your garlic and onion, you add the spices, you add water, and then you add your chopped herbs and let it cook for about 20 minutes. Let's get started. The onion and the garlics are nice and brown. Let's take a look at them together. I also saved some of it for garnish separately. Now it's time to add the fresh herbs and the spring onion. The original recipe asks for the pomegranate molasses to be added towards the end, but I just like to add it right at the beginning so the flavors melt together. I had added some salt and the turmeric to the onions and the garlic. Now I'll go ahead and add the rest of the salt to it. And I will also add the cinnamon. Just saute for a few seconds just for them to blend. The only spice that we will add towards the end is golpar, and I think it's because of the smell. You want to keep it fresh. At this point, I'm going to add about 10 to 12 cups of boiling water and let this cook for about 20 minutes. This already smells really, really good. All the fresh herbs that are just freshly chopped and the pomegranate kick to it. I can't wait to have this soup. The broth has been cooking for about 20 minutes. It's now time to add the meatballs and the rice. So I'll go ahead and add the rice first. It's 1 cup of white rice. You can opt for brown rice if you want to make it a little bit more healthy and add more fiber to it. I pre-made the meatballs to save some time and make the video a little bit shorter. What you need to do to make them is to combine 1 pound of ground beef and 1 grated onion in a mixing bowl. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of freshly ground pepper, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of turmeric. You can also add a couple of tablespoons of freshly ground parsley and mint. That would add the beautiful flavor of the fresh herbs to the meatballs as well. You would need to knead them lightly. Don't overmix, just let it come together. And then grease or wet your hands and shape them into small balls. You can definitely use a scoop, like an ice cream scoop, to do that. I'll go ahead and add these to the soup. I'll do it very gently. The soup is simmering now. I just remembered that I did not add pepper to the soup. So I'll go ahead and add it now. It shouldn't really make a big difference. That should be about a couple of teaspoons of ground pepper. Now I'll cover the pot again, let it come to a boil and then reduce to simmer. And in about an hour or an hour and a half, the meatballs should be all cooked. I'll go ahead and add my split peas about an hour from now. And the final things would be to add the beet, which I'm going to chop, and also the golpar. The soup has been cooking for about an hour and a half now, and about 30 minutes ago I added the split peas. They're nicely cooked and we are about to be done. I'll just go ahead and add the chopped beets and golpar, and while I let it cook for another couple of minutes, I'll make nana dal. These are the chopped beets. I'll just go ahead and turn it off. I don't want it to boil. I just want it to have a little bit of a simmer. And with a cast iron, it would keep it nice and warm for a couple more minutes. And the angelica powder or golpar. I'll stir it just a little bit for it to combine, and the heat would really help the two last ingredients to blend in. This looks really beautiful. Not sure if there's a good angle, but hopefully you can see the beautiful colors inside the pot. And now I'll go ahead and make nana dal. This is optional for decorating the soup. What I'm going to do is put a few tablespoons of dried mint in a lightly oiled small little pan and just heat it a little bit. I usually just use a little bit of oil. You can definitely add more if you want. And now I'm ready to pour the soup in my serving bowl and decorate it. Our asha anar, or pomegranate soup, is ready to be served. Nushe Jan.